All right, everybody, welcome back to the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are, as always, part of the Pigskin Podcast Network, who's affiliated with our good friends at DraftKings. Hopefully you hit up the DraftKings Sportsbook and made yourself a lot of money on the Super Bowl. Those people in Vegas know what the hell they're doing. They had a 4-point spread and ended up being 3, so I'd say they're pretty good. Joining us tonight, Mr. Ryan Scarpino, Mr. Ian, the Steelers Nat, and Mr. Ben Anderson. Gentlemen, welcome. And we are all currently enjoying beverages of the adult variety. Ryan, what do you have there?
Stella.
So he has a very fine Stella.
Fancy beer.
Ian, what do you have?
Sorry. I have a Great Lakes Brewing Conway's Irish Ale, and in case I run out of that, I also have my Bradshaw bourbon handy.
Beautiful.
Terry Bradshaw makes a damn fine bourbon.
I don't know, man. I think we need to converse with the East German judge and see if you're worthy of the Bradshaw bourbon tonight.
Oh, ouch.
It looks like a hazy Bach.
Hazy Rock.
Oh, Hazy Rock. I was going to say, I've never heard of
Hazy Rock. Yeah. Pelican Brewing. It's a juicy IPA. It's tasty. It does not very IPA-ish, though.
Is that an Oregon beer? Where's that from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's Oregon.
Gotcha. I am enjoying the Members Mark, and I have some Yinglings on standby if necessary.
Members Mark?
Members Mark.
Maker's Mark?
Did I say members? I'm thinking
Members Mark is the Costco knockoff.
Right. I meant Makers with the fancy red top. Yeah.
I thought he was talking about the members only jackets.
Yeah.
Like the guy in.
I have one of those. It's right next
Donovan
to my OnlyFans account or I don't know.
OnlyFans.
Anyway,
the look on Ryan's face, and I got to mention this because we got some comments on Twitter a couple weeks ago when I said, if you're just listening to the show, you have to go on YouTube and watch. So if you're just listening to the show, you have to go on YouTube and watch.
You really
the look
do.
on Ryan's face when you said that was outstanding.
Check out my link tree. All right.
There you go. Look for my Instagram bio. Anyway, hey, the Super Bowl's over. Congratulations to the Rams. They won a close game, 23-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Bungles, pardon me. And you know, it was an okay game. I mean, any game that goes down to the end is good.
The quarterback play was shit.
It was the
offensive line play was trash on both sides.
Yeah. The defenses dictated a lot of the game. You know, I mean, it's not going to go down as one of the great Super Bowls. There's no two ways about it. But you know what?
Did you see that turnout in LA for the parade? That was pretty overwhelming.
It was. It reminded me
those
of
crowds. Whoa, man! Wow.
When I saw that huge line of people, I thought they were just opening like a new Shake Shack in LA or something. That's about the size of the line.
There were more people at the Browns 0-16 parade than there were at the Rams Super Bowl parade.
And while we are not supposed to give credit to any Bungles fans whatsoever, they had more people at the runner-up get-together than they did at the Champions parade.
They did.
And did you guys see Matt Stafford when the camera girl fell off the stage? He just turned, walked away. She ended up fracturing her spine.
Yes.
He said he was going to pay for her.
He's going to pay for her treatment.
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
I mean, he didn't cause it.
No, he didn't. And I did not.
But I agree with you. He seemed unconcerned.
It was, and I think part of that was the level of alcohol that was probably in his system.
I've had that look sometimes back in the day in college. I'm like, I've had too much to drink to deal with this situation right now.
That's a very well put. Yeah,
I've never had that happen.
It was like,
he just,
not my problem. Real
poor
quick,
wife was there to pick up the pieces, so to speak.
You see, Brady tweeted at him. He said, "Yeah, hey Matt, don't forget to mix in water. Trust me."
Once again, proving that Tom Brady's really, really good at Twitter. Which
he is, man.
Unfair how good he is.
The guy, I'm telling you what, man, the guy could be good at anything, and it's just so irritating because we all know somebody like that. Ryan, real quick, what any takeaways from the Super Bowl for you?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I need whiskey for this, don't I?
We talk about this almost every game, but I understand that in super slow-mo. First of all, I understand that it has to be really, really hard to make these calls in real time. I mean,
it is
watching practices, watching games from the sidelines, and games are even faster than practices. I mean, there are plenty of times where I was right and wrong about calls. All right. Mm-hmm. So getting back to the game, I probably wouldn't have called that penalty on Higgins against Ramsey in real time. I don't know if I would have even been able to see it. I probably wouldn't have called the hold on Kupp. At the end of the day, though, we all have to agree on this. Mm-hmm. That was a blatant false start by the Rams, and the league needs to look at that, and the league needs to figure out how all the Zebras refs missed that. And it's something that hasn't been uncommon this year. It feels like every game there's like a sort of like a whether it's a bad snap from the center, regardless. In that moment, you have to make that call. And I just wish, because if they make that call, that's 3rd and goal from a further distance. A field goal doesn't tie the game at that moment.
Trail by 1.
So I feel that, like, and listen, I'm not going to say it's rigged, although I did tweet that, but I feel that, like, it's just so coincidental. Like, they let him play for 58 minutes, and then all of a sudden, it's like
that was my thought.
Hey, boys, it's about me. Throw the flag, and it's just like, well, come on.
What? I mean, Ian, you're the encyclopedia.
Maybe we all need to look at it from the standpoint, the possibility that God just hates Cincinnati.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying, it is a fair possibility that we all should be considering.
It cannot be dismissed. Ian, absolutely. What was the game? I think it was the Chargers.
It was. That false start burned us against the Chargers.
Yes.
Got them, a couple years ago that their tackle was
it was worse than the Super Bowl.
They hit a touchdown pass on one, and then late in the game, I think they did it again to pick up a 3rd down that got them into field goal range against us. Yep. Yeah, I know we basically lost the game because of that.
Yeah,
of uncalled false starts.
Yeah.
For you listeners that haven't listened to the show or watched it a bunch of times, Ian holds long grudges against the refs. Long grudges.
To be fair, in that same game, they let Keenan Allen
absolutely
destroy them, and they just kept putting Vince Williams or whatever linebacker that was on him.
It was
but still,
that's terrible.
That first touchdown by the Chargers, Ian is right. Yeah. That was a bad call, but they also were up, like, what was it? It was 23-7 at half, and they blew that game. That was one of the worst blown leads under Tomlin, under Cowher.
May have been the worst for
under Chuck Noll and that. But I'm just saying.
Ben, what were your thoughts on the Super Bowl overall?
I drank a lot. Had a lot of good food.
Okay.
Had a great time.
Good for you.
Bengals fans were sad at the end. Browns fans were sad when OBJ caught a touchdown and got a Super Bowl ring. Ryan and Steel Dad were both wrong. All the way around, it was just a good day. I mean,
I had the opposite score.
And I'd like to just point out one thing, that just because you believe a team is going to win a game doesn't mean you're rooting for that team.
I was, but
I was not.
I'm just saying both of you were wrong, and that's the only thing that really matters. It's not about Ian and I being right. It's more about you guys being wrong.
Well, I see.
Wrong.
Yes. Ian, your thoughts on the 56th edition of the Large Bowl?
Yeah, it was pretty boring for the most part, actually. I mean, like we said, defense kind of dominated a lot of it, but it wasn't even like good defensive play. It was like the offenses just were anemic for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, much like Super Bowl IX, I think when people go back and watch the game, they're going to be like, how didn't the defensive lineman win MVP? I know I wasn't alive for Super Bowl IX, but whenever I go back and watch it, every time I watch it, I'm like, how is Joe Green not the MVP of this game? I mean, I know Franco ran for 100 yards and had the game-winning touchdown and all that,
right?
But like, nevertheless, like Joe Green absolutely dominated that game.
Only guy who's ever won a Super Bowl MVP as a defensive lineman. Who?
Randy White.
Randy White.
I thought it was. Oh yeah,
he shared it with Harvey Martin, I believe, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 DNs.
Yeah.
77.
I was going to say Chuck Howley, but
Chuck was a linebacker. Yeah, for the Colts. Super Bowl, was that 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or no, 5. Whatever it was.
So,
at any rate,
whatever it was. Anyway, Ian, what's the point you were making? Sorry.
I understand why Cooper Kupp won the MVP, but when people go back and watch the game, they're going to say Aaron Donald was the best player in this game, and he absolutely was.
I agree.
Yeah. Ultimately, it was his play. I mean, it was.
I mean, James Harrison had a pretty amazing Super Bowl 43.
Yeah.
So did Lamar Woodley.
That's true. Yeah. People forget about that Woodley play at the end.
Yeah. I mean, both those guys, they played out of their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, it's just that you have to have literally like astronomical numbers as a defender to even get consideration for the Super Bowl MVP. Obviously, you had, if you go back to 30, Larry Brown had the 2 O'Donnell picks.
Let's not mention that ever again.
I knew that was going to.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
O'Neal gave him the game. He was like, "Hey, here you go, bud."
Yeah, Rod Martin for the Raiders had 3 picks and won it, and I think Jake Scott of the Dolphins, something like that. So, you do. You really have to have just a monster statistical game in order to get it. I highly believe that this episode's probably going to go off the rails, so we might as well just get it there now. Don't most of them. Ian and Ryan both have been ranting all week, and I figured rather than let that energy continue to build up, we might as well just get it out of the way. Ryan, go ahead with your rant, your whatever it is that you need to get off your chest for the listeners tonight, Wayne.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What I'm here for.
We talked about the Rams earlier and all, 125 true Rams fans that showed up to that victory parade.
There were at least 250 there. At least.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, come on.
So, Bengals fans greet the team as they come home from the airport.
Yep.
And then the city, not the Bengals, the city of Cincinnati says, hey, we're going to have a little rally here because we have been shit for a long time. And even though Marvin Lewis did a good job and we had Andy Dalton and Carson Palmer, we just could never win a playoff game. Steelers fans are a little insecure, and that's how I know that they're afraid of the Bengals, not the Browns.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the Bengals because the Bengals won 3 playoff games this postseason. That's just as many postseason wins as Steelers have since 2011, since their last Super Bowl appearance. And you know what? It's okay to enjoy stuff, even if you don't win it. Because here's the deal. It is very, very hard to win a Super Bowl. A lot of things have to go your way. No injuries, who you end up playing that season, who you end up playing in the postseason. And the Steelers are so fortunate to win 6 Super Bowls, as are the Patriots. Okay? So, when the Steelers won the Immaculate Reception game, that was the first playoff win in Pittsburgh history.
Yeah.
Fans stormed the field. It took 15, 20 minutes to get fans off the field because fans were like, you know what, we've been shit for a long time. I'm going to enjoy this. And the Raiders actually had just gone up 7-6. So it was that moment. And that moment actually led to the Steelers' success. So when Steelers fans get all high and mighty and they say, oh, look at these losers, that's a loser mentality. And there were some Pittsburgh sports personalities that were sort of,
douchebags about it.
kept beating that, and I like them. I'll tell you if I don't, but it rubbed me the wrong way because you know what? The Steelers haven't done anything for a long time, and you can't always live in the past.
Yep.
And the Steelers live off of the 70s, which team of the decade, and the Steelers live off the early 2000s, 05 and 08. But after that, they went to a Super Bowl, and Aaron Rodgers immunized. Aaron Rodgers had sort of his like, had one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But the point being is that like when you're literally making fun of Bengals fans about celebrating success after 30 years of shit. That's when you know that they're on the up and you might not be on the up. And in my opinion, the Steelers haven't been on the up in a long time.
Nah, the Steelers are going to.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't want to use regress next year, but the outlook isn't great.
Right.
The outlook is not great for 2022, excuse me. And if you think that all this team needs is a quarterback and they're a contender again, you are fooling yourself, or you don't know shit about football. We'll get
into that later in the show.
My guess is you're probably just lying to yourself because they got a lot more problems than just quarterback.
Yep.
The thing I'll add to Ryan's great take.
Ian, is this your rant here?
No, this is not my rant. This is this is a supplement to Ryan's.
Supplement. I got you.
The supplement I will add is that the people who were criticizing the Bengals for celebrating their first playoff victory since 91
91
yeah were the
31 years, man.
Yes, were the exact same people that when the Pirates broke their long losing streak and finally made the playoffs in 2013 were celebrating like crazy and saying, do everything you can to soak this up because it's been 21 years since this team did anything.
Amazing how that works.
Oh, you mean the Zoltan Z? Remember that?
Yeah, those are great years, man. Those are so much good baseball is so much fun, and the Pirates are just awful. So yes,
they are.
That's a perfect example, though, Ian.
They didn't even win it. They didn't, and this is the most hilarious thing about it is I'm a Pittsburgher, born and raised, and I don't even know if they're going to play baseball this year, but that's just how much disinterested I am in baseball. But the point is that like I literally will cherish that 13 to 15 seasons, even though they never won a real playoff series. Think about that. They beat Johnny Cueto dropping the ball. They beat the Reds, and they lost to the Cardinals.
They beat the Reds.
They lost to Mad Bum, which is not the name of a liquor. That's Mad Dog, but I'm feeling good tonight. And then it was Arrieta. So, like, listen, I remember
those pumped full of steroids, but will never admit it. Yes.
Yeah, but like it, like, listen, like when you are shit for so long, it's okay to be excited. And here's the other thing: as long as you don't harm anyone, you do you, man. Like I don't give a shit. Celebrate it. Thank you.
No, that's
I'm not even going to go there. If these Bengals fans want to enjoy this, they should. They've suffered for a long time.
No question.
Ryan has already pointed out ad nauseum. I like to give Bengals fans shit as much as anyone. Love it.
Yeah, right.
But over this, I mean, come on. No.
Yeah.
Sorry. Absolutely not.
And for the record, I was told that when the Steelers returned from their Super Bowl 45 loss, there were actually Steelers fans there to greet them. So the personalities that were ripping on Bengals fans being there to greet a team after it lost the Super Bowl, I what do they say? Stones, glass houses type thing. So I agree with everything that's been said there. Let me real quick before Ian gets going, I can see that the motor's ready to go here. We are presented by DEK Roofing of South Florida. DEK serves Broward and the southern Palm Beach counties, whether it's commercial, industrial, residential, multi-families, or condos. Contact DEK Roofing today by visiting dekroofing.com. Ian, would you like to get your rant out of the way?
Sure. I'm going to have one of these take enhancers, which it's not an Olympic sport, so I don't have to worry about.
Hey, if curling is, why can't take enhancing be?
I don't know, man.
That's true.
I don't know. The East German judge is not. She's frowning.
I don't know. I don't know. The Russian figure skater got to compete even though she was taking steroids, so I can take some take enhancers to make the podcast better. All right. So here's my rant of the week, and I will preface this by saying that before this week, I did not realize that there were Trey Turner stands out there. People who thought Trey Turner was a good player this year. I sat there and watched him let guys run right past him, sometimes multiple guys, without even like trying to act like a turnstile. It was worse than Jonathan Scott. At least Jonathan Scott put a hand on a guy when someone ran around him. Turner just let the guys go. But at any rate, apparently there are Trey Turner stands out there that will defend him. So here's my rant. My rant is that I know it's the off season. I know we have a long, hard road to get through, and it's boring. There's nothing to do, right? The combine hasn't happened yet. We're not talking about draft prospects yet. The season just ended. I get it. But you don't need to prove how good of a Steelers fan you are on Twitter by carrying the water for mediocre players like Trey Turner or Terrell Edmonds or whoever it is. This is not like I felt like
Edmonds is better than mediocre. All right.
You're interrupting his rant.
Edmonds is better than Turner, but like as far as safeties go, he's middle of the road, right? He's just a guy. I don't know. He's available, but he, Okay. At any rate, I felt like my Twitter timeline was like watching that scene in Fantasia where Mickey Mouse gets all the broomsticks to carry the water for him, of just people being like, no, this Steelers player is actually good. I'm going to carry the water for them and prove to you how good they are. And I'm like, this does not need to happen, guys. Like, do
I need to pay a royalty to Disney for that reference?
Probably.
Tells me I'm going to get a call.
Yeah. You might get some DMs. If anybody hates my takes, send your hate mail to Steel Dad.
Absolutely.
Always. But yeah, it's okay to say that we have players on our team who are not the best or not even good, or sometimes they suck. It's okay to say that Steelers players suck. Like Turner, yes. Or like Mike Mitchell back in the day, who was probably my least favorite Steeler of all time.
I'm not going to go that far, but Mike.
Oh, he's up there with me.
Mike was a strong safety trying to play free safety.
I was surprised. Mark Cabali this week said Trey Turner, and he prefaced it by saying, not that it's saying much, was the Steelers' best offensive lineman this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I think because I actually looked it up because I can't believe I did this, but I think Turner had the highest PFF grade among Steelers linemen.
You did not. I cannot believe you just made that reference. It's a fucking PFF reference.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you serious?
That's what I'm saying. Is that if Cabali is saying he was their best lineman, is he using that as his source? Is my question. I am not saying that Trey Turner was the Steelers' best lineman. I am saying I looked it up what the ratings were. Now I realized that they pull their ratings out of their ass. So
yes,
you know,
so means exactly dick.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. Ryan is enjoying my rant here. I'm just rolling.
Yeah.
This is no, but that's pretty much it. Like, you don't need to prove how good of a fan you are by saying a mediocre player is actually good. Like, it's okay to say, if everyone on the team except for Najee and Freiermuth on offense were replaced by somebody else, we probably maybe and Deontay Johnson, we could rebuild with those three. Or on defense, it's okay to say, you keep Minka, you keep Cam, you keep TJ, and you can rebuild from there. I mean, Alex Highsmith's a nice piece. I get it. There's other guys who are good role players, but like none of the other guys are, Pro Bowl caliber players right now.
No.
Joe Hayden was at one time, but not anymore. So
let me ask both of you this. Yeah. Who do you think was the Steelers' best offensive lineman this year? And I know that's like asking, who was
who your favorite turd was?
Yeah.
All right, I'll say this. I think Dan Moore made the most progress of anyone.
Yeah, he did.
From where he started to where he finished.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if he was the best on the whole season, but I think he made the most progress of anyone. And I think his future might be the brightest.
Kevin Dotson looked good in spots.
Yeah.
But didn't play a lot of the year. Yeah. So you can't really call him the Steelers' best offensive lineman. I thought Turner was semi-respectable as a run blocker and absolutely horrible as a pass blocker.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'd go.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Joe Haig is your pick for the best lineman.
I was going to say John LeGlue. I'm not kidding. I was going to say John LeGlue. I mean, or honestly, Dan Moore, because of the time he put in and the progress that he made. And I mean, honestly, if you just want to say most improved offensive lineman over the course of the year, 100% Dan Moore. Not even. I mean,
fourth-round rookie. You know?
I think eventually he's going to be a decent, a respectable left tackle.
Sure.
I don't think he was there this year, but young players get better over time.
Yeah.
And I think that his trial by fire is trial by combat this year.
Let me really since we're talking a little O-line, the Steelers did finally hire an offensive line coach this week, and
fuck you.
You know, as usual, Steelers. Anyway, as usual, Steelers Twitter was all a Twitter, if you will.
A twatter.
His name is Pat Meyer. He's about 49 years old. He has had experience with most recently the Carolina Panthers, but a lot of time in college, a little bit in the Canadian Football League, as a matter of fact, but in the NFL. Also been with the Chargers, the Bills, and the Bears as well. And you know, if you look at his unit in terms of statistics like rushing yards and stuff, they actually were middle of the road to pretty good. You know, now he was there with Carolina this year. They won all of 5 games. Granted, they didn't have Christian McCaffrey for most of that. Ben, what's your overall take on this particular hire here? What does it speak to you?
It's underwhelming. That's the word I would use.
So the question would be then, what did you expect?
I hoped for an impact hire. Mm-hmm. I didn't think Munchak was coming back. But I thought they were courting Doug Marrone. That didn't happen.
Nope, went to the Saints.
You know, and let's be honest, the Saints are going to have a decent run game, but their quarterback situation is terrible.
Right.
That's not a very attractive place to play unless they're paying you a lot. So maybe he's getting a lot of cash there. I don't know. You know, some guy who is coming up from the college ranks and wants to make a name for himself. I don't know. But this guy just, I don't know. It's underwhelming. And maybe I'm wrong. And obviously, I hope I am. And, you know, they have hired an assistant offensive line coach the last few years, and I hope they hire one again. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big group. Usually they keep 9 guys and then have a couple of guys in the practice squad. So let's say you got 11 guys in that room. You want to have more than one coach, and you want to be able to split guys up and do drills simultaneously with, half the group over here and half the group over here, so on and so forth. So I hope they hire one. And we'll just see. Really what that group needs, though, more than anything else, is talent. Let's be frank. I mean, good players make good coaches. Sure. Yep. When you've got a bunch of good guys along the line, that coach is going to look a lot better than he is. And you look at Mike Munchak the last few years in Denver, he hasn't coached very good offensive lines. He hasn't. But the talent wasn't there.
I would make the argument, at least for me, my personal viewpoint, I wanted a guy that had a little bit of college and pro experience, and Meyer certainly has that. I just don't know. I think you need a teacher. You need a guy that's good at communicating with these guys. I don't know that Clem was that. I don't know that Morgan was that. And so obviously
I'm surprised that they didn't keep Morgan, to be honest with you. Not that I thought he was that much better, but I'm just a little surprised. I think they must have kept him out there going, yeah, we're not sure if we're going to hire you or not, Yeah. So we'll see, kind of a deal.
Right.
But he only had the job for a year. I mean, you would think he was still under contract, but technically getting an offensive line coach job was a promotion because you're going from assistant offensive line coach to, the offensive line coach. So they really, I don't see Mike Tomlin stopping him from interviewing any place if he wants to. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm just surprised that a bigger effort wasn't made to keep him.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was very, very quick in terms of how he left, too. I mean, I don't know that we'll ever really get a story as to whether or not they wanted to keep him. I don't know. Ian, did you dig into Meyer at all? Any comments on him?
So 2 comments. First on Munchak, since Ben talked about him. I think where Munchak really excelled, not only in developing talent, but also as our run game coordinator, that since he's left, in Denver, you're right. He didn't have a lot of talent to deal with, but Denver's running scheme was still very good. I mean, Melvin Gordon's a good running back, but I mean, they've had other guys there too. Javonte Williams, Phillip Lindsay. Lindsay was there for a year, I think, with Munchak, but still, he schemes the run game very well. And that's where a lot of his value is too in the game planning. And, from reports, Adrian Clem reportedly didn't really take input from the running backs or the tight ends, like the guys who are also involved in the running game very much. So that, I'm hopeful that if they keep having the offensive line coach be the run game coordinator, and you can change that, right? You can have
he does have experience with that, by the way.
Yeah,
he has been a coordinator.
That's a good thing, I would say. The one thing I will say, though, is this is now the second assistant coach we have hired from Carolina, and I'm not sure if anyone actually watched the 2021 Carolina Panthers attempt to play football at all, but I'm not sure what it was about that team that made anyone say, yeah, we're going to hire 2 of their assistant coaches. So we'll see what happens. Like Ben said, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I hope I'm proven wrong. So
Ryan, walk me through the process when the Steelers are looking for an assistant like this, not a coordinator, but a position guy. I mean, who sits down with them? Is it Tomlin, Canada? Is Art Rooney involved? What does this look like as far as you recall?
What Ian just said about Clem, and I don't know him. I don't know him. I didn't work with him. But when I was there, it was constant communication between offensive coaches, whether it was James Daniel, Todd Haley, Kirby Wilson, or James Daniel, Todd Haley, James Saxon, with Munch, with even Jack Bicknell from 2013. But so it's weird to hear that. Again, I haven't been there in a while, but that sounds strange to me. But the whole is only good as the sum of the parts, and I think that you need to have that sort of you need to have that open line of communication. You need to understand what your players do well. You need to understand what works and what doesn't. So to go back to Clem, doesn't it seem weird that Adrian Clem doesn't want to work in Pittsburgh anymore? He's going to take a job in Oregon. Doesn't that seem weird? Doesn't it seem weird? Yeah. Doesn't it seem a little weird that, and I actually called this on the show, Ike Hilliard didn't come back. Is it all his fault? No. Did Chase Claypool not continue that rookie to second year thing? No. But, does Ike need to teach him not to be awkward when catching the ball? I guess. So I guess my point being, I guess my point being is that there have been multiple Steelers coaches now that either weren't wanted back or didn't want to come back. So to me, that's a red flag. To me, that's sort of a concern. And then to go way back, I have no idea why they didn't why they didn't bring back Sean Surratt. I think that was one of the dumbest moves this team has made in a long time. And I'm not going to sit here and say, because he's an assistant in LA with the Chargers, but Sean was very, very, very smart. He learned under Munchak. He came from
5 years.
He came from nothing and you know what? He was a good dude. I'm going to say it. Real good dude. But I don't say that in like, just personally, right. I see that in like that dude put in his time all the time. And again, he learned from Munchak for 5 years. So Munch was never coming back. So whatever Pittsburgh radio host wanted to keep that pipe dream going. And then Doug Marrone was the biggest hire. Other than that, that didn't happen. I didn't know Pat Meyer until his name popped up. I don't want to judge him.
Fans didn't.
I don't want to judge him. But I'm going to say this. In his 2 years with Carolina, they had 88 sacks in 34 games, 33 games, whatever. Anyway, I can't count anymore. But the point is that, like, is that they gave up a lot of sacks. And I understand. And I get it. Listen.
The talent's not there, though.
I play fantasy football. I get it. I get it. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I play Madden. I get it, too.
I get it. Christian McCaffrey hasn't been available most of the past 2 years. Okay, Chuba Hubbard is not a bad running back.
No, he's good.
When you got no quarterback, whether it's Sam Darnold or you bring Cam Newton out or you got PJ Walker, so I don't want to put too much pressure on him.
Right.
But I also want to say that I didn't know his name before he got hired.
In fairness, his non-Carolina lines were far better.
Yeah, especially Buffalo. I saw that like they were. I think they might have been number one that year in like efficiency running or something like that.
They were far better than his Carolina lines, which was terrible.
So, and I get it, Ian, and Ian, I'm with you, and Ben, I'm with you. It is underwhelming. I mean, let's be honest. Who wants to pick up stuff off the scrap pile? But to be fair, that is the Steelers' type of MO, whether that's coaches or players. Like it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to be the big name as long as you can come in and you can put your ego aside and you can work together. That being said, I go back to if Adrian Clem doesn't want to work here, I don't know who does.
I think from my perspective, I think that Clem realized it wasn't going to work out. He knew it. He wasn't going to fit. And he saw a parachute. He saw a place where he was valued.
But didn't you see that? Didn't you see that
saw a
video?
place where they were going to not only pay him a lot, because Oregon pays a lot. I don't know if you realize this.
I know. I get it.
They were going to pay him a lot, and he was going to be wanted. He was going to be valued. And I think he probably got to the point in Pittsburgh where he realized this was going to be like a 2-year stint, and he's going to be looking for a job. So why not get out now?
I blame Ben for dunking on him in that video. I don't know if you saw that. And also in that video, it looked like Ben didn't even acknowledge Mason Rudolph's. Oh,
nope.
I'm causing drama. But Ben literally probably was like,
I mean,
fuck out of here. I'm
the worst kept secret.
The worst
kept secret in Pittsburgh was that Ben and Mason didn't get along.
Mason was literally like,
because Ben didn't like him. No other reason.
No.
I mean, Ben just didn't like the guy.
Do you think Ben, over under number of words Ben said to Mason consecutively at 20? I'm going to go under.
20? I'm going to go under as well.
I would too. Would too. There was
at one time for sure.
It always surprised me too that when Ben came off the field and they show him on the sidelines, he's sitting there with Josh Dobbs and Mason is nowhere to be seen.
Always.
Yep.
It's just.
Meanwhile, Josh Dobbs is drawing
brilliant
fucking vertexes, and I don't know that word. He's sitting there talking about And Ben's like, yeah, I got it, man. You know, Boswell hits us at this angle. I guess some bitches travel into the
there are a handful of quarterbacks that Ben has had a really good relationship with. Mason Rudolph's not one of them.
No, he got along well with Leftwich, didn't he?
I'm sorry,
Leftwich, Charlie
Byron Leftwich,
got along well, great with Batch and Leftwich.
But there was always a veteran there.
Yeah, but he got along well with what's his fuck before Mason.
I know that guy,
Landry Jones.
Bruce Gradkowski. Yeah.
Bruce Grad. He got along great with Gradkowski too. Yes.
Yeah.
So he got along with a lot of guys. He just did not like Mason. So that may have been a personality conflict. It may have been something else. Whatever. Who cares?
Ben, could it have been what you have mentioned many times on the show, that you do not believe Mason Rudolph knows how to read a defense?
He doesn't.
And Ben, like, you know, having those veteran guys when he was young, like Batch and Leftwich, you know, is Ben could go off the field and talk to them and say, hey, you know, what have you seen? You've seen defense. Like, they knew how to read defenses.
Exactly. He would grab the pictures when Jones was there and sit down and review them with Landry and go, what do you see? And they'd talk. And that's what he was doing with Dobbs this year.
Landry basically appreciation right here.
Uh-oh.
He was a good dude.
Landry Jones was not a bad quarterback. Honestly, I think if they had kept him that year, instead of Josh Dobbs, they would have made the playoffs, because Josh Dobbs' performance versus the Raiders was tragic.
I blame the X-ray machine.
It was horrible.
That was the X-ray machine game.
Yeah, whatever. Yes, it was the X-ray machine game. I know. I remember that.
It was.
Have you all ever been? Can I? This is definitely.
Yes, I've been to that stadium. It is horrible.
Okay.
Although I got to be honest, I've been to Three Rivers too.
Okay.
And Three Rivers was about the same.
All right. Yeah. So I got to tell you this, because the Oakland,
Alameda
County, whoever paid money for that at the time being. I remember going in there. We played there a couple times, but when we lost both times. But I remember when we went there, like, it was a dump.
Yep.
And we held our press conferences in the Oakland A's weight room, which looked like the worst weight room of all time. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it smelled like sewage and shit. I mean, it was like,
well, they said they had leaky pipes.
I mean, it was.
I gotta be honest with you, man. That place is it's a very old stadium. It's in a really shitty part of town. Awful.
Oh yeah.
Does it even still exist, or are they going to demo the thing?
Well, the A's still play there.
The A's are still there.
Oh my god!
If they still play baseball this year, but I just remember bringing the guys to the podium, and they'd be like looking at me like, where the fuck are we going? I'm like, hey man, don't worry. You ever see Moneyball? Billy Bean's waiting for you.
Right. Hey, since we're talking quarterbacks a little bit, we kind of got.
Oh, here we go.
Apologies, it's my fault.
We didn't go off the rails. Are you kidding? That never happens in this show.
Never. I'm sure you do, Ian. Yeah, we all do. I'm still in therapy after some of the shit I saw.
Ian wants to tell bathroom stories.
No, I said I have the Three Rivers bathroom.
Oh my God! Here we go again. Yes.
Especially on the upper level,
the
we're
troughs?
just like no.
The troughs. I remember the troughs.
Like Three Rivers Stadium, you did not wash your hands in the sink after halftime.
Nope.
Like, because you did not know what was going to be in those sinks. Like, yeah.
Ryan. People pissed in the garbage cans against the wall until there was an open spot.
Yep.
People took dumps in the sink. Like, it was the Wild West at Three Rivers Stadium on the upper level.
Listen, shout out to like my parents who never ever they protected me, but like they took me to concerts when I was like 3 and 4 years old. Like they just like they let me sort of see the debauchery at a very young age within limits. Okay. And I remember like I was like 7 or 8 and we went to see the Dolphins and Steelers, and like, cause Marino was coming back to town. And I just remember like walking into the bathroom with my dad and like some grown ass man taking a grown ass dump. And my dad who's like has no filter whatsoever was like, yeah, you know, you gotta go. So
that's what my dad told me too. It's like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Yep. I think I found the ticket stub for my first game, and it was August of '91, so I would have been 5 years old. It was a preseason game, but yeah,
that's why we're so fucked up. It's okay though.
I learned so many words at Three River Stadium over the course of my life.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm crying. Give me a second.
Now you can pass that experience along to your own boys.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
That's
right. I think the worst one though was the last game at Three Rivers. Like people were just taking shit.
Oh, I was there. Yeah. I saw it.
I saw some dude walk out of the bathroom with the toilet seat stuffed up on, like stuffing a toilet seat on there. I'm like, why in the world of all the things you could take from this stadium, why would you take a toilet seat? Like,
I saw a guy whip a drill out and start unscrewing a sign that was like a gate this way or something like that sign. It was nuts.
People were whipping out like the pocket, like the big ass Swiss Army knives that had like the pocket knife, screwdriver combos, and taking the numbers off their seats and all that, everything. Yeah, that was nuts. The last game in that stadium.
Oh shit!
It was. Let me just talk a little bit about these quarterbacks, and we'll get into it a lot more. But this week, a couple of
you shifting to the draft now?
Just kind of, sort of.
Right.
A couple of mocks this week suggested that the Steelers would trade up
for Howell. What the fuck?
Well, no. Maybe that's our rant tonight, Ben. There's no fucking way we are trading up for Sam Howell to 10.
I'll be frank. I wouldn't trade up in this draft for any quarterback at all.
Nor would I.
None of them.
Now, what I would do, though, if I really truly believe that I need to have a quarterback and Pickett's sitting there like it's 17 or 18, and if they did that, I could see it. I could see it. I'm not saying I would do it.
I'd start looking at trades if he was still there at 15. I give you that.
Yes.
I don't think he will be.
Yes, I agree on both those things, and that's the point I was just trying to make. Is I haven't watched a ton of film on Howell yet. I've watched about 3 games. This guy isn't even a second rounder in most drafts. I mean, maybe
he might be a second rounder.
The way quarterbacks are valued, he probably is. But
yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying, talent-wise, he's fun to watch, nice athlete, tough kid, but no. Pickett would be the only guy that's sitting there, and I know they have this so-called love affair with Malik Willis. Good athlete, but man, the accuracy is not there. And I just, that was my 2 cents on the quarterback thing. And
I think with Willis, again, if you take Willis, you're looking for long-term development. You
have to be.
You're swinging for the fences with this kid because his ceiling is a lot higher.
It is.
Somebody like Pickett.
Big arm.
Pickett's ceiling is very close to where he is right now.
He's there. Yeah.
So if he's an NFL starter, Pickett, I'm speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bottom half starter, and he honestly, I'm being frank, he is, and he's maybe not even good enough to be an NFL starter, and he's going to be a first round pick in this draft. That's how desperate teams are for quarterback talent.
Yep. So you're talking teams like Carolina.
I'm talking the NFL in general. There are not even 32 starter capable quarterbacks in the world for the NFL. There aren't 32 of those guys.
Right.
And being the 32nd ranked quarterback in the NFL, you're an elite athlete, but you're not good enough for the NFL.
Yeah. Ian, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, the other thing about Pickett is that he's a redshirt senior, so he's 23 years old already, which, for those who have listened to the show for a while, you know that I talk about Steelers draft trends, and it's rare that we draft seniors. Last year, drafting Najee being
they did break the paradigm.
Above 22 years old was rare.
They know they're going to run him into the ground in 5 years anyway, so they're like, whatever, it's fine.
Run his wheels off, baby.
Think about this. Like, Pickett is 23 right now. Josh Allen was 24 this past year. Lamar Jackson was 24 this past year. Yep. So when you talk about like Pickett being close to his ceiling, like there's something to that he's 23 next year as a rookie will be his age 24 season. Josh Allen just played his age 24 season and was a lot better than what Kenny Pickett was this past year. So
Pickett is going to struggle because he does not have the arm, and he cannot develop that.
But he played at Pitt, guys.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ryan. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. He's Dan Marino reincarnate. You're right.
That was my rant last week. Actually, speaking of Marino, though, did anybody else get like Marino vibes from this Dolphins run or from this Bengals run that it was like, okay, that Bungles.
The Bengals.
Like, Joe Burrow made a Super Bowl.
Ian, the clock hadn't even struck 0, and I was already thinking about it. I was already thinking about Dan Marino.
His second year and didn't make it back ever again.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I think the last 16 guys that have lost their debut in a Super Bowl never got back.
That's nuts.
16 guys at quarterback.
I would like to see that list. And I agree. I believe you. I do think, though, and I talked about this earlier, I do think Cincinnati is going to be good for a long time. And Burrow, he can throw.
You know what? The Dolphins were good for a long time. They just never made it back.
I agree. So I even tweeted that the other day, the Dolphins have the fourth most wins regular and postseason since the merger, but they haven't made two playoff appearances since 2002.
Yeah.
That just goes to show how good they were post-merger and then into Marino.
Right.
I look at this, though, like, you're good. It is so hard to make a Super Bowl. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I also think that they may have finally gotten it right. And I do. And I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I went to Ohio U. He's from Athens. Anyway, but getting back to the Kenny Pickett thing, and if any, those that are watching, I like Kenny Pickett. I root for Kenny Pickett the whole time. I mean, they beat Miami when they were number 2. That was just like what, like he became a legend so early on that his trajectory was this. But I look at it this way. He might have broken Dan Marino's records, but he is not Dan Marino.
Not even.
And even though Dan Marino has never won a Super Bowl, and I know people sit there and be like, he never won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino was slinging that thing around like nobody's business. The fake spike, Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Well,
come on. He is not Dan Marino.
Nope. Not even close.
Kenny Pickett could not beat the Broncos of Western Michigan either. One of the finest football universities in America.
No one cares, Mark. No one cares.
And home to so many wonderful alumni over the years. But I digress. Yeah. Ian?
Oh, so I just looked it up. If you don't count Drew Bledsoe winning when Tom Brady was the quarterback in the Super Bowl, then it's 16 because Bledsoe lost his first one. If you count Bledsoe as winning it when he made it back, it's 13. If you do count Bledsoe, then it is 16. It would be John Elway was the last guy who lost his first Super Bowl and then came back and won a later Super Bowl.
And he had quite a few years in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he lost 80. He lost 86, 87, 89.
Right.
And then didn't win again until 97.
Denver didn't win shit for a long time, too.
Right.
Fun fact, Denver is the losingest franchise in Super Bowl history. Actually, Denver and New England have both lost 5 Super Bowls.
3 and 5, right?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Denver
they've both lost 5.
Yeah,
Denver and New England have both lost 5.
2 and 5, I think, wouldn't they?
They won 2 with Elway, but then they won with Peyton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My bad. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
J.J. Watt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just assume for a minute, because there is some rumblings that Derek Watt could be a cap casualty. making what he makes, and the fact that they don't use him for shit, but that's a whole other story. What a wonderful story it would be. I love him. I think he's great on special teams. I wish they used him more on offense, but it is what it is. There's some rumblings that JJ is not happy. Kyler Murray is not thrilled with things in Arizona, and JJ might want out of there. He's got a fairly big hit left on his contract, and then he's got 3 voidable years. After
it's only $13.5 million. What's the big deal?
Well, and he would have to be traded for as well. You know, and so Ben, where do you fall on him? I have.
Well, we're talking about a guy who rarely plays a full 16 games.
Yeah,
he did in 18 and again in 20. But last year he played 7 games. In 2019 he played 8 games. In 2017 he played 5 games. 2016 he played 3 games. So this is a guy who frequently goes on injured reserve.
Yeah.
And next year he's due $13.5 million in total compensation. And the Steelers are a team that need to get younger.
Agreed.
And now with respect to Mike Tomlin's, you can never have too many Watts policy, which I don't disagree with. I think J.J. Watt, when he is playing, is fucking amazing when he's playing. But is it worth a $13.5 million gamble? I don't know. And whatever they're going to demand in trade, which is probably going to be a mid-round pick at least. At least. Maybe a 3. I don't know. He also has a no-trade clause. I don't know if you guys knew that. The no-trade clause basically says, yeah, you ain't trading me unless I approve the team I'm going to. So, no.
Right.
So, I mean, basically, he can stipulate it, which limits the Texans' ability to get trade compensation. You know?
Cardinals.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The Cardinals. Yes. Them.
Right. It does. The only other team that was mentioned was the Packers, maybe a little go-home.
And these are just rumors at this point. You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
That's all we're addressing. That if these rumors are true, then.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian, how would you picture this happening, even if it were to happen?
I would say the only way J.J. Watt comes here is if Stephon Tuitt is actually done and over with. And I feel like I've said every show since the season ended, quarterback is our number 1 priority to figure out. What's going on with Tuitt is our number 2 priority.
I don't think they're going to invest that much time in figuring out what quarterback is. I think they're just going to kind of go, well, this is a shitty year for quarterbacks. The free agent class
we can only hope.
That's what I think, but I don't know.
Bad. Honestly, the draft class is poor. We're kind of fucked. Moving on to the next thing. Tuitt. Yes. Mr. Tuitt, are you going to play this year?
Right. Well, and that's kind of what New England did for a year and then had Mac Jones fall into their lap. So, it can work.
I mean, how good is Mac Jones, though, really?
He fits their system very well.
He's not Tom Brady.
He's not Tom Brady.
Nobody is.
Nobody is. No.
Well,
fuck that. I'm sorry, Ben.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I have the fuck Tom Brady shirt. I bought it at the strip for $6.
I love that.
I still have it down there, too.
Yeah.
I hate that. I like that guy.
Probably you. I also have another one that says Belichick and Brady are jag-offs.
Nice. So yeah, the only way J.J. Watt comes here is if Stephon Tuitt is done. I think at this point in his career, I think J.J. Watt wants to win a title.
Is it worth it?
No, not for him. No,
I don't. I don't. You're too far away.
I think J.J. Watt wants to win a title, and he would have a much better chance. If he has a no-trade clause, he has a much better chance of that in Green Bay than he does here if Aaron Rodgers stays.
Pending if Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams stay in Green Bay, or if they get the fuck out and go, you know what? We want to go to Broncos.
T.J. Watt has a better chance of winning a title somewhere else than here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ryan coming in strong. I appreciate it.
I had a couple Yinglings.
He's got all that guaranteed money, though, so he's hanging out for a while.
That was rude. I apologize, Ian.
No, it's really good. It's all good. Have all the Yinglings you want. I appreciate it.
Okay, so I am coming in hot tonight. Do we as Pittsburgh fans love reunions with former players or reuniting family members as much as other cities. So, like, I mean, I see tweets that are like, Andrew McCutchen would be a great DH for the Pirates. What year is it? What year is it? And I love Kutch. Kutch is forever cemented in Pirates lore. Great guy.
Hey, okay. Let me see if Cobra's available while you're at it. You know?
I mean, so then it's like, well, JJ Watt wants to come to Pittsburgh. Why? Why would you want JJ Watt in Pittsburgh? JJ Watt is rarely available, and he's going to ask for a price that is way more than this team is going to pay in free agency. Not saying he's not going to be productive, because I bet you he can be. But what are we?
When he plays.
But what are we talking? Are we talking 2012, 13, 14 TJ or J? Oh my goodness. TJ is obviously in my mind, but like JJ, like JJ Watt was literally at one point the best defensive player in football.
Right.
That ship has sailed. That doesn't mean he can't still be a contributor.
Right.
But like the only reason fans want him here is because his two brothers are here.
Right.
And to me, that is absolutely ridiculous, because if you spend $7 or $8 million on this guy, and then again, this is the first time the Steelers have had money in years, and that dude gets hurt the first or second game, and he's on IR the whole year, you're going to be like, we should never sign this guy. We should never sign this guy. And it's
he's under contract, Ryan.
Right. Sorry. And they're not – sorry.
He'd have to be traded for, and he's due $13.5 million.
No. If they cut him. Because I don't know what. So listen, there's a lot of weird shit going on in Arizona right now. Like Kyler Murray, like that's weird.
True.
So like, but similar to Rodgers, are they actually going to cut him, or they are looking for a trade option? So if they would cut him, I wouldn't. We're not trading for him, and if they cut him, there should be no reason why we sign him.
I don't know.
Actually, that brings up another point that I had though. That when we were talking about draft quarterbacks too, there is no quarterback. There's no quarterback out there that I would trade next year's first-round pick for, whether it be a rookie in this class to move up or anyone potentially available on the market. I would not trade next year's first-round. I would value our 2023 first-round pick higher than, say, Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or whatever. Like there is no one out there that I would trade next year's first-round pick for.
Yep, I'll die on that hill with you.
Just putting a capper on the JJ Watt thing here real quickly. This is a guy who's 32.
Yep.
Is going to command $13.5 million in trade. We're going to have to give up a draft pick to get him here.
Mm-hmm.
He rarely plays a full 16 games. And the Steelers are a team that need to get younger badly.
Yes.
Does this fit?
No.
To me?
No, his brother's player.
No, it just doesn't fit.
Hey,
no,
it makes for wonderful stories, wonderful photo ops. That doesn't win games, Hey, before we get out of here, and I think it's very important that we discuss.
Are we getting out of here?
Yes, it's been an hour, and
if anyone is still listening,
people have. Well, they're going to miss out then, because there is an issue that must be discussed. And that is your favorite hairband of the 1980s, gentlemen.
Really?
Yep.
The 80s or 90s?
Can we do three? Because
sure. Give me your top three. Ryan, go.
Oh, God damn it. Oh man, I wasn't prepared for this. Top three 80s.
Ian, do you have yours already?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, can I count Guns N' Roses as a hairband?
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
Can I count Metallica as a hairband?
No.
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
No.
Yes, you can.
Metallica, a hairband?
Nah.
Oh, come on.
All right. We won't count Metallica, but we'll count Guns N' Roses. I don't know. I mean, like, there's so many good ones. Like, Whitesnake's got some bangers. The Scorpions are great. I love the Scorpions. Like, they don't get enough playtime.
You're damn right.
Deutschland. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's hilarious that there's
what about
now
Crocus, Ian? You big Crocus
fan? Yes, the Swedes, right?
No, they're from
Swedish? Swiss.
No, but
Austria. I know they're from somewhere.
Okay, I was gonna say the fact that in the year 2022 there is a beef between Pearl Jam and Motley Crue
I saw that.
is absolutely hilarious to me. Like,
I really find Eddie Vedder super annoying in general anyway, but that just enhanced that annoyance.
The fact that they have to beef, like these 70-year-old rock stars have to beef with each other is just hilarious to me. So, yeah. All right.
Like Neil Young and Leonard Skinner.
So, favorite hair bands of the 80s.
Yeah, wait. Neil Young was around before the 80s, though. I mean, if we're talking just Mark said Neil Young. Like, Neil Young's been around.
Whatever.
He's talking about
nothing to do with anything.
Oh, for a beef.
He's talking about fucking Spotify. So favorite hair bands from the 80s.
Does nobody know this fucking story?
Apparently not.
No. I know the Neil Young Leonard Skinner story. That's a good one.
That Ronnie Van Zant was buried in a Neil Young T-shirt, and Southern Sweet Home Alabama was written in rebuttal to Southern Man by Neil Young.
They ended up being good friends,
but they actually were friends about it. So like it wasn't.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, fuck them both. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. I lived in the South. Fuck those guys. So,
Ben, go ahead.
Where were we? Oh,
three bands, 80s, 3 hair bands, 80s.
Hair bands. Kiss.
Makeup or no makeup?
That's fair.
With makeup. The no makeup, they had a couple of decent songs. Yeah. And then I'm going to go with the Rat Poison tour. Ooh. That was fantastic.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a good
shit
right there.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Poison that was the headliner, but Poison and Rat Poison.
Yep.
And then Cinderella, who basically was Rat. They were the same band. They just had some different lyrics, but same.
I like those.
They were all equally terrible. And then the capper, of course, is Ryan's favorite, Tesla. They suck ass.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you are so wrong.
And I liked them a lot when I was in high school, and I hang my head in shame now because they're fucking terrible.
They're terrible now or back then?
They were terrible then, too. I just couldn't tell.
Oh, that's lies.
Dude, their first album was unreal.
Listen,
you guys,
listen.
Wrong.
If you say Tesla sucks. Then you love Mason Rudolph.
They suck.
That's how
they suck. That whole
right.
Tesla thing is a Pittsburgh love affair that I've never understood. It's like Donnie Iris, who incidentally isn't that good either. Sorry.
Oh, man, you're speaking blasphemy over there, man.
He is.
You know what else, guys? Styx isn't from Pittsburgh. Oh, my God. They're from Chicago. Holy shit.
Listen, Renegade isn't even the best song off of Pieces of Eight, and I've said that for years.
Sucks ass.
Blue Collar Man.
Fine. All right.
They're terrible.
I like Blue Collar Man.
They're annoying as fuck.
My three. I'm gonna get my three. Here's my three. I'm gonna go with Quiet Riot. I'm gonna go with Winger because Red Beach, their guitarist, is from Pittsburgh.
Twisted Sisters next.
Huh?
Twisted Sisters.
No. I thought he was going.
Oh, you drew me off, man. Oh no, I'm gonna go with. Here, you ready for this? Dawkins.
Rockin' with Dawkins, baby.
George Lynch.
I'm an old soul, baby. Breaking the chains.
What the fuck, Mark? Look what you started.
That was my intent.
Yeah,
Ian, did you give your three?
I said Guns N' Roses and Scorpions.
Okay.
Give me. Oh, come on, Ian. Hit me.
Yeah, I loved Ben's blasphemy towards Tesla is hurting my heart badly.
Well, that's because you're wrong.
Love
you
Man.
Realize it.
1988 and White Snake. Still of the Night, man. Unbelievable.
Does Aerosmith count as a hair band? Like, there's bands that had the hair, but I don't know, like, if you can
really.
I think
Aerosmith really counts the hair band.
Aerosmith's 70s stuff was so much better.
So good.
You had to originate in the 80s.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So I would even say Kiss is not, but I'll take it.
Right, but I know what you mean.
That's fair because the Kiss went through like phases. Like,
well, I guess I can't count the Scorpions
the 70s
then either,
thing, the no makeup, the makeup again, and it was like,
So I would say, when did they make it big? Because the Scorpions didn't make it big until 84, Rocky Like Hurricane.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, they made it big in the 70s, but they were still big in the 80s.
Yes.
Right.
Still big in the 90s, 2000s.
LA Guns, vastly underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
LA Guns,
never enough.
Yeah, they had a couple tunes.
Nobody mentioned Motley Crue, and they were amazing in the 80s.
No, we did. Yeah,
they were kind of like on their own little pedestal or something.
They kicked ass and took names in the 80s.
They did. They were fun.
Eddie Vedder didn't like them though. That's okay.
Eddie Vedder sucks ass, so who cares?
I love Pearl Jam, but like
they were one of the few I could listen to.
Like, hey Eddie, did you ever OD on heroin and somebody kickstarted your heart? No, I didn't think so. Okay, I'm just saying. Not that I'm condoning that type of behavior. I'm just saying that, I don't know.
And on that note, we're getting out of here for tonight. You've been
I'm never coming on the show again. I'm done.
You're back next week, right?
I'm getting canceled this time for sure.
Presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. And hey, go Steelers.
Ravens suck.